Fox Sports.
We are the fourth. We are NC.
Even when the Royals commit 2 errors, even when Greg Holland allows 2 runs in the 9th inning, everything continues to line up for the Royals. They are still the best team in baseball since the All-Star break. Game 2 in Minnesota is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. And outdoors in downtown Minneapolis, it's a warm, muggy night for Game 2 between the Royals and the Minnesota Twins. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre. If you were to describe the Royals offense and compare it to a theater production, it would be an ensemble cast. There's no one star. There's no one big name out on the marquee. It's just a very balanced offense, a very versatile offense. And last night, the Royals hit a couple of milestones. Alcides Escobar drove in 3 runs. That gave him 40. The Royals now have 7 players with 40 or more RBIs. That's tied for most in the major leagues. Earlier in the game, Salvador Perez hit his 20th double. The Royals have 6 players with 20 or more doubles. That's tied for second most in the major leagues. As we welcome in Rux Hudler, and to a lot of people, this is a very underwhelming offense. And that might be true because there really isn't an MVP candidate, but there aren't many balanced offenses out there like the Royals.
No, that's what makes them so dangerous. Everything in baseball is contagious, especially the main ingredient, wins. But we've watched the Kansas City Royals pitching staff feed off of each other. Those starters passing the baton from one guy to the next start to the next start. And here comes the offense. The same situation they're doing. They are feeding off of each other. All it takes is one big hit. Salvador Perez got it going last night. And then Billy Butler moved him over with that nice base hit to right field. And after the guys got on that base, Willingham cleaned him off. Escobar with 3 RBIs last night. 2 on this beautiful triple he hit. They are getting it done in bunches, but there's not one guy, Ryan, that makes this team extremely dangerous.
The Royals have won 7 of the last 8 games. Giordano Ventura has pitched. And on the topic of offense, when we come back, Joel Goldberg will get a Twins perspective. MVP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. Josh Willingham with more home runs here than any player at Target Field. He didn't go deep, but in his first game back as a member of the Royals, he hit a 3-run double in the Royals' 5-run 4th inning. So the Royals adding that bat, adding some power to the lineup, that balanced offense we were just talking about. But according to Twins manager Ron Gardenhire, it's the athleticism he is most impressed with.
Well, we got a great pitching staff, one of the best bullpens in baseball, which always helps, but they're one of the more athletic teams, if not the most athletic team in baseball. All over their field, they've got guys that pick it, catch it, do all kinds of amazing things. And you know what, they get after the game, they play hard, and like I said, it's a very athletic baseball team.
It's been a tough pitching year for the Twins for the second consecutive year, but they will send their winningest pitcher to the mound tonight. 12-game winner Phil Hughes, and the first pitch is coming up next. Baseball is brought to you by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Make your move to Chevrolet today. By the Missouri Lottery, try the new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by AT&T Uverse, find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. Royals, for the second time this year, have a game-and-a-half lead over the Tigers, and that's got Ned Yost dancing. Get a good long look at that, because you may never see it again. Also, we should point out the Royals are also just 2.5 games back of the Baltimore Orioles for the second seed in the American League playoffs, which would give them home field in the first round. Here's the Royals batting order presented by your Midwest Ford dealers. And changes from last night include Raul Ibanez in there at DH against the right-hander Phil Hughes. Now let's welcome in Joe Goldberg.
All right, Ryan, thanks. It has been a different guy really every single night for the Royals. I was talking to a couple of scouts today who said this team is finding ways to do it, and they don't have anyone with a lot of RBIs high up in the RBI totals, but they've got 7 different players with 40-plus. Last night, the hero offensively was Alcides Escobar and Josh Willingham. Escobar was a guest on Hy-Vee Royals Live, and while the triple was big, It was the 9th inning when he had that bloop single that he said he was most proud of. That ended up being the insurance run. That was the difference. Guys?
And boy, has he been clutch lately with 2 outs. Alcides Escobar. 28-year-old Phil Hughes. He has had a good year in his first year with Minnesota as he leads a team with 12 wins, coming off a very disappointing finish last year in his final season with the Yankees.
Yep, Hughes has been really good. He's a strike thrower. He's been really hitting the corners. He stays down. He's got a 3-pitch guy, basically. Fastball, loves him. Throws over 65% of them. He cuts his fastball, and he's got a big curveball. He's aggressive. Likes to pitch inside.
Nori opened the game last night with a sharply hit ground ball. And he does the same tonight as Mauer goes to the bag, 1 down.
Defensively, we're going to highlight Danny Santana. 1 error in 18 games, and that was at shortstop. Now, he's been their center fielder, but they're moving him over. Gardenhire wants to see him at shortstop. That's his natural position. Schaefer's in center, and that's his natural position.
And Fonte lifts the first pitch he sees to Arcia in right field, standing in an area of shadows, most of target field, in the outfield in the bright sunlight. And then there's a reverse arc, which has put the left fielder and the right fielder in the shadows. So just like Kauffman Stadium, the 6-10 start, and provide some challenges with the combination of sunlight and the dark shadows. So 2 down to Salvador Perez.
That fastball about 92. He might top out at 94, but that looks pretty straight. And believe me, the Royals, they know he throws a lot of fastballs. They'll be jumping on him.
0-2 to Sal. Phil Hughes, one of the best in the American League at throwing strikes. One of the best strikeout to walk ratios. 6 pitches, all strikes in this inning, 2 ground ball outs, and the Royals are down quickly in the top of the first inning. So a quick inning for the Royals in the top of the first inning, and now Yordano Ventura. He is the Kia starting pitcher tonight. He'll be facing the Twins for the 3rd time this year, but making his Target Field debut tonight.
He's coming off his 4th straight quality start. It's been good. Strikeouts, nice. He's got that power fastball amped up. He's got to be able to locate it, though, and throw strikes against these Minnesota Twins. Very patient offense.
Minnesota Twins Offense has improved in the month of August, and they rallied late against the Royals last night, but fell a run short. And it all begins with the rookie, the igniter, as Ron Gardenhire calls him, Danny Santana, who is back to his natural position tonight. He will be at shortstop.
Yeah, last time Santana faced Ventura, he picked out a curveball early and hit it over the fence. Pulled it at the K.
He was hitless last night, 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts, putting an end to a 6-game hitting streak. And now 1-1.
Ventura's best pitch is that power fastball. He'll go anywhere from 94 to 100. Free and easy motion. That looked like a good location there. Wants to stay out of the middle with it if he can, and then incorporate his secondary pitches. Nice overhand curve. Changeup.
Kane fighting the glare as he's still in the sunlight, and he'll retire Santana for the first out.
Alcides Escobar is highlighted on the Royals defense tonight. This guy, he's an Iron Man as a shortstop. Leads Major League Baseball shortstops with all them starts. If he doesn't win a Gold Glove this year, I'll be shocked. He really can make the plays, and lately with the bat, he's been just as good. They got to tighten up their defense a little bit. Last night got a little bit shabby out there. A few unearned runs were crossing the plate, but overall, they're usually airtight.
Moustakas charges, throws right on target to Butler. 2 down in the first inning.
Good to see Moose not barehand that. He didn't need to. Nice play. Use the glove. Be sure with the glove. Throw off the right foot.
And now Joe Mauer, who extended a hitting streak last night to 16 games, going 1 for 4, and that ties a career high for him. He also had a 16-gamer back in 2008. He really, as he often does, worked left field. He flied out to Alex Gordon 3 times, and then he doubled off of Alex's glove for his only hit. And now he goes into left center field, but Kane is right there. So the Royals were lined up perfectly. So Hughes has a fast inning. Ventura has a fast inning. Only 6 batters total in a scoreless first inning. It has been a busy day, or 2 days at Target Field, with the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Started yesterday with James Shields and Eric Hosmer, 5 members of the Minnesota Twins, and then members of our broadcast teams, Rex Hudler and Bert Blyleven. Go to alsa.org to make a donation. So you're challenged to get drenched with ice water, and if you turn down the challenge, then you make a donation to ALS Research, correct?
$100 or more, please. They've already raised over $4 million this summer. Actually, it's just been 3 weeks they've been doing it, and ALS couldn't be happier. It is just taken over. And when you're on your video or your camera, whatever you make, you challenge somebody else. But you know what, though? Bert was right. They had a lot more water in his. I appreciate that. It was unbelievable.
Now, he was smart enough to not show up in his work clothes.
I couldn't help it.
You had to go back to the hotel, right?
I did, but I just wanted to do it in my uniform, man. I'm not getting in no bathing suit or anything. It's all worth it. They could just find a cure.
Billy 1 for 4 last night. He scored one of the Royals' 6 runs. The bat goes up the third base line, and the ball into shallow left center where Santana makes the play. That bat split. It didn't break. It split like it was hit with an axe.
That's an ash bat. Maple wood, it just breaks in half. Doesn't splinter down the middle. Cutter down low. We're always going to see a lot of those. He's got a lot of confidence in him. He'll use it to both sides of the plate. He'll backdoor some breaking balls too to the left-handers.
Dozier to the hole on the right side. Hughes has retired the first 5 tonight, 2 down in the second inning.
Talked about how Hughes is a strike thrower, and obviously by the way the Royals offense is going right now, they're going after him. Right at 65% fastballs, they know it's coming. It's curveball, cutters, you know, those are the only pitches they can work for. No changeup out of him. He's just allowed 15 walks in 24 starts this year.
Lorenzo Cain came on late last night. He was a pinch hitter in the 9th inning after coming on defensively and singled, picked up a stolen base. Batting at .301. No balls, 2 strikes.
Hughes, he works fast, especially with runners on. And he constantly will rush the hitters too. He's not afraid to get right up there and throw it in there. He's likes to get strike 1. That's what he's been doing so far. A lot of confidence in that fastball since he's not playing or pitching in New York anymore. That short porch would hurt him. Pop-ups fly out to right there.
Breaking ball away, strikes out Cain. That's Hughes' first strikeout as he has retired the first 6 Royals tonight. who has the Royals single-season road home run record. We had Steve Balboni on a couple of homestands ago, and he still has the Royals total record for home runs, 1985, 36, but who had the most road home runs? Mike Moustakas leads the Royals this year with 10 of his 14 home runs away from Kauffman Stadium.
How about Big John? Big John looks like a good candidate. They all can hit for power.
Two and one on Kenny Vargas, who can hit for power. He was 1 for 4 last night.
Good to see that average there. And they're saying that that's not a mistake. This guy, he's got very good plate discipline, so he takes his walks, does Vargas, and that he's able to use the whole field. However, he's got really good power to right field when he's batting left and to left field when he's batting right. He's got a nice future ahead of him here.
3-2. Salvador Perez trying to slow down Ventura. Leadoff walk. So that's the first base runner of the game. '23-year-old Yordano Ventura, in the later stages of a successful first full season in the big leagues, where he ranks with pitchers 24 years of age or younger. Second most wins, third best ERA, fourth most innings, fourth most strikeouts.
Pretty impressive what command he has with his secondary pitches. Now the fastball, a lot of young guys come up throwing hard, but when you have command like he does with his curveball and his changeup, that makes him even a little bit tougher to square up.
1-1 on Oswaldo Arcia. He drove in a run and scored a run last night. Ventura's ahead, 1-2.
Against Oakland in Ventura's last start, he walked 4. Had 5 strikeouts.
And that's out of play. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's walked quite a few against Minnesota in his first 2 starts. Giordano walked 7 in 11 innings, but only 1 of those turned into a run. We've been telling you all year about how good he's been beyond his years and experience pitching with men on base. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
April 15th in his start at Houston's when I had a chance to talk to Nolan Ryan after he watched him pitch. Actually, that next day, Nolan was around the batting cage, and he said, "Rex, he looks like the real deal." And
after he said that, did he say Advil's gentler on my stomach than aspirin?
No, but you remember those commercials that he did?
That's, I mean,
that's pretty good.
All of his greatness, all the no-hitters, all the strikeouts. When I think of Nolan Ryan, that's gentler on my stomach than aspirin. Another full count. He was 3-2 with Vargas, who eventually walked.
Salvador Perez says he's really got to be animated sometimes with his body language to get Ventura to calm down and stay straight downhill. He says he might be a little more animated with him than he is some of the other starters, but he's just trying to get in the back of his mind to not try to overthrow. That's what he's doing now, early.
And Hud, we hear often about a catcher handles a pitching staff well. And really, that's just an extension of the manager, right? I mean, and the pitching coach, Dave Island, just knowing what pitchers you can prod, which ones you can get animated with, which ones you have to handle with kid gloves.
That's right. Everyone's different. You got to treat them differently when it comes to communication, especially. It's like last night when Duffy looked surprised that Ned took him out. I said, Ned, we saw you in there talking to him in the dugout. He was standing around. What were you telling him? He said, I was telling him he ran out of gas and his stuff wasn't good. I had to get him out. He understood.
And now that's inside to Plouffe. Well, it just goes to show the development of Danny Duffy, that nowadays an erratic Danny Duffy doesn't walk anybody in 5 1/3 innings and gives up 3 runs, 2 earned runs. Billy came off the bag as the Royals still made a pretty good bid at turning a double play on what didn't look like a double play ground ball. And the Twins have runners at first and third with 1 out.
Yeah, ball wasn't quite hit hard enough, and Infante had to go 4 or 5 steps to his left. Escobar very athletic to make that, but if Billy stays on the base, they wouldn't have got it anyway. Billy was coming off. He knew. Ventura, he was hopeful, wasn't he?
Kurt Suzuki with runners at first and third. He had a big night last night. 3 hits and a walk. And Ventura's in with a strike.
Suzuki feeling really good. Got him a 2-year deal. He told me before the game that every time he swings the bat, he feels like he's going to make some solid contact. So really what that is just a confident hitter.
Here's what we were talking about earlier in the inning. While most young pitchers begin to feel the heat, the more the pressure builds in an inning, Ventura is the opposite. So right now, if the trends stay the same, Kurt Suzuki has become a 197 hitter. Two balls, 1 strike.
He's been a 346 hitter with runners in scoring position, so he's getting the job done. He likes to pull the ball, but he will hit it to right. It's grounded into 7 double plays.
No swing. Field and Culbreth. Crew chief is the first base umpire. 2-2. He has driven in 9 this year. Suzuki has, against the Royals in 12 games.
Ventura has induced 8 ground ball double plays. It's pretty good for being a power pitcher, and usually those are fly ball pitchers. Aoki and right, look at him all the way to your right of your screen. He didn't believe that Suzuki's going to pull him. Lorenzo Cain, he's in the off field as well.
Still 3-2. I still picture Kurt Suzuki as a member of the A's as a very good high fastball hitter. Hitting on top of pitches above the belt, just below the shoulders. And it's pulled foul. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And that wasn't out over the plate. Had some two-seam movement back in to him, so he's able to pull it foul. But that's a ground ball double play there. Gardenhire did not send Plouffe.
That was too high, and Ventura has walked 3 in the inning to load him up with 1 out.
Not good. Dave Island, perfect time to go out and have a chat with his young ace. Gotta find a way to corral him.
When we go back to what we just showed you on the screen, that he has at times gotten into trouble because of walks, but seems to find the right pitch when he needs it with men on base. The term that is used to describe a pitcher that feels the pressure is that they begin to vibrate, meaning their knees begin to wobble and they are not calm on the mound. They're literally shaking, literally or figuratively, but I can't remember a time this year where Ventura looked like he was overwhelmed by the situation.
No, but you can tell, though, by his mechanics, how he's fallen off heavily to the left side from our view here. He's leaving some balls up and out over the plate. Parmalee is a good contact hitter. Not doing a whole lot with runners in scoring position, just 111.
He's had a good year against the Royals, but to your point, with those 7 hits, he's driven in 2. So a lot of hits without driving in runs. And now Ventura's ahead, no balls, 2 strikes.
A little bit off field with a power pitcher. You're not expecting hitters to pull him.
There's a double play ground ball, and the Royals turn it. So again, Ventura gets into trouble with the lack of control, but when he needs to make a big pitch, he does, and that ground ball was worth 2.
Couldn't believe it. 4-6-3. Stay hot.
Baseball is brought to you by Panera, coming soon to College and King in Overland Park. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. Thunderstorms in the area, and they were rolling out the tarp at the end of batting practice to make sure it was ready just in case. And some sun is still in the area, and Arcia lost sight of that line drive from Ibanez. So that combination of clouds, humidity, and sunlight is firing up thunderstorms, and that little bit of sunlight remaining helped Ibanez with a leadoff base hit.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Yeah, I'm telling you, Royals are hunting first pitch fastballs from Hughes. They know him. And like Nolasco last night, it could be just a matter of time. But if Hughes pitches to the Royals anything like he did his last time against the Royals, they only got 3 hits through the first 5 innings. In the 6th inning, they finally got to him. They scored 3.
Back to Hughes. I think that ball found his glove as much as he made the play. 2 down. Don't forget to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during tonight's game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. And speaking of AT&T, our AT&T Uverse Rewind will take us back to April 20th. That's Phil Hughes. That's Alcides Escobar.
Sure was a nice stroke. He had a little uppercut, little lift to it.
Esky had a big night last night. 2 hits, a triple, 3 RBIs, getting him to 40 on the year. He had all those doubles, remember, very early in the season and had been among the league leaders for most of the year. But before last night, just 1 extra base hit in 22 games. And that triple capped a 5-run inning for the Royals. That cutter's really dancing tonight, isn't it?
It is. I was talking to Alex Gordon before the game about Hughes, and he said, get 2 strikes on you, that's what's coming. So they know what he's got. But let me just tell you from experience, just because you know what the guy's got doesn't mean you're going to square him up. Ooh.
Cutter again. Leadoff single to double play was big, and then Hughes gets his 2nd strikeout, so he's faced the minimum through the first 3 innings.
Escaped 3 walks last inning with no runs allowed, and coming into the game, I know Ryan and Hud talked about a .210 batting average against with runners in the scoring position, 197 with 2 outs. Talking to pitching coach Dave Island about that today, and of course his first thing was, I don't want to jinx it. So we didn't talk about this till after last inning. No jinx, Dave. But he said that really it's because of his stuff. But what makes it unique for Yordano Ventura is his youth. We have talked so many times about other pitchers, guys, that struggle with runners in scoring position, and more times than not, those pitchers are young guys that haven't been through it. Now, he said, Dave Island did, that in the case of Ventura, he could sometimes get a little too amped up. Hud, you talked about that one because he starts to overthrow, and at that point, they'll go out and remind him less is more. just because you were able to go out there, get strike one, strike two, don't try to do more than what you are doing. You saw that that's what happened, but really incredible numbers for a young guy. He said this is all part of the maturation process, and he's doing very well with it so far.
And he's fallen behind, 3 balls and no strikes on Jordan Schaefer. And you talk a lot about body language, Bud, and I would imagine that the opposing hitters, there's another walk, that's 4 walks in 2 innings and 1 batter. First time he's walked a batter on 4 straight pitches. I would imagine too that opposing hitters, they see a pitcher who appears to be on the ropes, and they look at him on the mound, and he looks like he's pitching a no-hitter.
No, and that's another reason why, is that the hitters can't read his body language. Typically, you can tell when a pitcher is frustrated. And Joel used the word that Dave Island used, is stuff. It's got stuff, and that means hard. He throws hard, so he's got that and his mound presence going for him. Right now, I think Salvi just went out there and says, don't worry about the corners, just give me some strikes over the middle. We'll take our chances. They hit him at somebody, just like he got Parmalee to do at last inning to get out of it with a double play.
That's a balk.
It looked a little funky.
Now the rule states you cannot argue a balk. So Jim Reynolds will let Ned say a few things, but he's warning him not to go too far.
Well, it looked a little funky there. We'll have to see it again. But Schaefer, he's a guy that's going to take off and steal. So Ventura, he knows that. So maybe got him a little nervous. Let's see.
Well, he did not disengage from the rubber. He did not step off. At least I think that's what the umpires are ruling, that it was a shift move, a jump move. And when a right-hand pitcher shifts like that without deliberately stepping off the rubber, they cannot fake a throw over to first base. And the reason they have that rule is otherwise a right-hand pitcher could just do that over and over again and force the runner to dive back into the dirt, dive back into the dirt, dive back into the dirt. So in a shift move like that, without the deliberate stepping off back the rubber, it's a balk.
Yeah, way to explain it and break it down for the people. I know, that's good. Doesn't need to worry about Schaefer over there. Just concentrate on the hitter here. So he's being tested, Ventura is, in this game. Hope the balk doesn't rattle him. Stay right down through the glove.
Now that was I think a high changeup, and Ventura, while he did a good job when you look at his line in his last start, 2 hits, 2 earned runs in 6 innings against the A's. He didn't have much of a breaking ball or a changeup, relied mostly on his fastball, and he's got a good one. Moustakas makes the call and the catch to get Dozier, who's 0 for 2, and now 2 down. And now tonight I've been seeing a changeup or a breaking ball that's fooled one of the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, and he's really has to use those secondary pitches. I mean, you know, a big league pitcher, I don't care how hard you throw, you cannot just throw that one pitch the whole night and get by with it. Somebody's going to get you. That's why a starting pitcher has 3 and 4 pitches. He's going to see the guys multiple times during his outing. He's got to have different weapons. But the fastball he can use 60-70% of the time.
Mauer line to center his first time up. Good fastball at 98 over the inside. 0-1.
Bauer rarely pulls the ball anymore. He stays in the middle of the field, and I think he's used to that. Being a batting champion that he is, hitting high for average, typically those guys use the big part of the field. That's up the middle and opposite field.
Oh, and 2.
'91. Looked like a changeup. The way the ball moved, but his two-seamer's doing that, but usually a lot more velocity on it. Anyway, effective pitch. Salvi wants it up.
Hit well to left field. Not hit well enough.
Woo! Living on the edge.
No scores. We go to the 4th inning. Coming up on Wednesday, August 27th. We want you to come out to the ballpark and celebrate Irish Heritage Night. The night will feature authentic Irish music, entertainment, and activities for the whole family. And the first 10,000 fans will receive the Shamrock Royals Cup set, courtesy of Fox Sports Kansas City. And for special ticket deals, visit royals.com/Irish.
Oh, how nice it was back in the day, sitting in that dugout. You could actually sit on the seats, but you saw all those guys standing. It's because the modern game now, they protect the players with the fence here, and that's a good thing, that fence. Okay, it protects guys and it keeps guys from getting injured, but it takes the clarity away. Sitting in the dugout, you can't see all the bars and stuff. You know, guys, they're like fans. They don't want screen around them. They want to be able to see the live action. Used to could just sit in that dugout and watch the game, but there was always a yell, incoming, ugly finder.
Referring to if the ball hit somebody, then it found the ugly person in the dugout.
That's right.
And so therefore it was an ugly finder, the ball was.
Those are the two main things that were yelled. I heard it all the time.
So if a hitter like Aoki, who's known to slap the ball late the other way, your teammates would stay away from you in the dugout?
Basically, some guys got hit all the time. Look at him. Hold on. What's in there?
Up against the padded wall. Nori Aoki leads off the 4th inning with a double.
There you go. Maybe they'll start that hitting frenzy. We saw it happen last night. Salvador hit the double. Everybody else started doing their job, and they've got to be able to get the runner over to third base here. Aoki, talk about him. He's really recognizing inside pitches now. Getting the bat head out. Fonte wants to try to work him over if he can. Try to push that ball to right field, the right side. He doesn't miss many fastballs that are right down the middle. Good swing that way. See, that was an inside out swing. He knows the situation, but sometimes doing it, different story. If the manager sees you do that in one swing, he at least knows you're thinking about the situation.
Again, trying to go the other way and fouls it away.
So now it's cutter time or big curveball.
Interesting. The league gets to him first time through. A little better second time through, and then they really get to him third time through, and that was the point that you made about the last time the Royals faced Hughes.
3 runs in the 6th they got off. Now, with 2 strikes on the batter, you're on your own. Manager's not going to be upset if you hit a ball to the left side of the infield and you can't advance the runner. But as long as he saw you take a couple of shots to right field, you're good. And Infante, he's been really good. 53 ribbies on the year.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Royals now at 273 with runners in scoring position. The number just keeps creeping up.
Pitch has good movement on it, and he seems to be changing speeds on it. Seen that cutter from the upper 80s to the lower 90s, and that ball had movement and Infante out in front.
I talked with Phil Hughes the day after he pitched against the Royals and they beat him, and I asked him, couldn't you tell in the 6th inning they were getting to your fastball and you just kept throwing it in there? He goes, well, you know what, I have confidence in that pitch. Maybe I should have went with a few more off-speed pitches, but I like my fastball. So he knew that maybe he shouldn't, but when a pitcher is confident in the particular pitch that he's been successful with, he's going to stay with it.
Big breaking ball for a strike to Salvi, and with the addition of Josh Willingham, the Royals have 2 of the most prolific hitters all time here at Target Field, which opened in 2010. The 2nd highest batting average, the most home runs, and the 2nd most RBIs. Aoki heads for third, and Suzuki throws it into left field. Nori didn't see it right away. He will still score. So a stolen base and a throwing error on Suzuki gives the Royals a 1-0 lead.
There you go. There's making something happen. Had a few pitches to read Hughes on his delivery home, and he was confident he could do it. Suzuki got a nice inside pitch so he could clear himself, and he just totally whiffed the throw. Jersley had a hard time getting Aoki's attention.
Go, 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 I think is universal, right? I mean, that means something in Japan too, doesn't it?
You better believe it is. Now, typically when you slide on your right side like that, you can see if the ball got by the third baseman.
Salvador Perez to left field. That's well hit. Just like Mauer's shot last half inning. You really got to get into one here at Target Field, and it's a fly out to the warning track. That was stolen base number 109 for the Royals this year. Aoki going to third, and our Toyota League leaders will show us that not only the Royals lead the league this year, but they've really picked things up since the All-Star break. The most stolen base in the major leagues since the All-Star break. Minnesota's also on that list. Yeah, it's in between Plouffe and Santana as Billy Butler picks up a 2-out single.
Now, I'm not privy to this information, but I would just go by seeing this ball club the way they go about it. Most of the guys have the green light. Now, Billy doesn't have a green light, but most of the players or the base runners go when they can get a jump. That's basically what it is, having the green light. The manager has confidence in you. You pick your own pitch. And with Rusty Kuntz, as good as he is at helping these guys get reads and jumps, they're almost all on their own. Gordon going to be sitting on a fastball here.
It's one of the first things we learned about Ned Yost when he took over as manager in 2010, that he was going to delegate more to his coaches, and he wanted his coaches to delegate more to their players in their area. There's a base hit into right field. Billy will stop at second base. Alex Gordon has his first hit. And that's where the game has really changed a lot, and it goes back to high school and college. Is the game is so micromanaged, especially when you're talking about pitcher-catcher relationship, fielders adjusting on defense. They go through high school and college having to look into the dugout and have their coach tell them what to do on every play.
Right.
Here they get here and they're still in that mindset. Well, where do you want me to play? What pitch do you want me to throw? When should I run?
It's all a part of maturing as a player, especially when you get to this level. Sometimes you have the green light, but there'll be a certain sign that they give you not to go on that pitch. Aoki got a run out of it. Let's see. We haven't seen a 2-out rally in a while.
2 strikes on Kane, and Phil Hughes struck him out with a curveball back in the second inning. He needed just 22 pitches to get through the first 3 innings, and now 20 in this inning.
Might just see that breaker again.
Very close. 2-2.
I'll say that's been a strike from Jim Reynolds most of the game so far. That's what that cutter does. It starts out inside to the batter, and he thinks that's off the plate, and then it cuts back over, catches some of the dish.
Fastball up, strikes out Kane. Hughes gets him for a second time tonight. The Royals get the game's first run. And with the bat and legs of Nori Aoki. hurry in for a great deal during the Dodge Summer Clearance event. Royals lead 1-0 to the bottom of the fourth. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from the Rally House. Aoki back in right field, and he takes care of Vargas, who leads off for a second time tonight. He walked his first time.
That fastball got in on him just enough so he couldn't get the meat on the ball. Strike one for Ventura. It's going to be really important. He's got to find a way to get ahead, and then he can finish off some hitters. With 2 strikes on him, they'll be a little bit more aggressive. Curveball not really reaching its full break yet.
Two 2-0. He is fewer than half first pitch strikes tonight. So he's been pitching from behind most of the time. But when you've got that 2-0 fastball, the hitter knows it's coming. When it's 97 up there, you can hardly say it's a hittable pitch. Three and one. He has walked 4 already. Ventura has. He does not have a strikeout. He got a big double play from Parmelee in the second inning. The shift was on, so it's a long run for Moustakas and Gordon, and it's back into the 6th row. Arcia was one of the 3 walks in the second inning. And then in the 3rd inning, Schaefer walked to begin the inning, but Ventura got the next 3.
First 2 pitches to Arcia in this at bat, he threw a curveball that didn't break like it normally does. And then he threw a changeup that was up and away. Didn't look like he's having command with those secondary pitches. So he's going to have to beat this team with his fastball.
And he does. Coming back with 3-1, 2-0 at one point. And fastball, 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 and that's where he gets his first strikeout.
And this is, again, a learning situation for him. The secondary pitches aren't working. He can't get the feel for them. Got to find a way to win. Just figure it out. And I've noticed he's really breathing heavy out there. He's not normally as calm as he has been. I don't know what it is, but he's a little amped up tonight.
Ball 1 of the breaking ball to Plouffe. Plouffe reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. That's back and into the Minnesota Twins broadcast booth, where Dick Bramer on your right, along with Bert Blyleven. I think Dick had a pretty good effort.
Well, absolutely. He went for it. Uh-oh.
Plouffe is on because of an error by Escobar.
Twelfth error on Escobar this year. You don't see that very often. Routine balls, he usually picks the right hop, and he just didn't pick his glove up. It was a long hop, too. It wasn't like the hop ate him up. See how the ball's already bounced a couple feet before it got to him. It's a rare clank.
Big swing and a miss by Suzuki. He walked back in the second inning. Royals have not gotten him out yet in the series. 3 for 3 with a walk last night.
That's the first secondary pitch I've seen him throw for a strike. And that's a lot, 60 pitches. Maybe he's going to find it. There's some 99.
Staying with the fastball, a pretty weak swing. And Infante to the line. That's a fair ball catch. So Ventura has gotten around 4 walks tonight. And in the 4th inning, he gets around an error. 1-0. Farmland shows us what's cooking at the K. Coming up during the next homestand, the Royals, remember, have that makeup game with the New York Yankees on the 25th, and the salute to Derek Jeter. Minnesota, Cleveland, and Texas will also be there for the homestand. And during that Minnesota series on the 27th, which is a Wednesday night, Irish Heritage Night, and the Royals giving away that Shamrock Green Cup set. Game 3 with the Twins tomorrow. Tommy Milone, who I think is second to John Lester when it comes to left-hand pitchers who have given the Royals a bad time. He'll pitch for the Twins against Jeremy Guthrie. I'll bet if you were like me, there were Royals fans saying, how did the Twins get Tommy Milone for Sam Fuld? No disrespect to Sam Fuld, but mostly seen as a 4th outfielder, a backup outfielder. And Tommy Milone has done some of his best work, if not his best work, against the Royals.
Good strong cutter there. Ibanez, that last base hit made him 4 for 7 with 2 home runs in his career. Off of Phil Hughes, Ned Yost said he wanted to get Ibanez in there, keep everybody fresh.
Another base hit. So he's 5 for 8 against Phil Hughes. Second time Ibanez has led off the inning with a base hit. After Ibanez led off the third with a single, Mike Moustakas grounded back to Hughes, who started a 1-6-3 double play.
Hit the ball hard. The ball found Hughes' glove. So now we're seeing Hughes in this inning here. Second time through the order for Moose and Ibanez and Escobar, starting first pitch breaking balls.
And he hasn't thrown many of his breaking balls tonight. You and I were talking to Dave Island before the game, and that Hughes has been pitching with a cracked fingernail on his right index finger, which becomes more critical when you have a breaking ball like the one that Hughes has. Dozier goes to second, and the Twins almost turn another double play. They do get Ibanez at second base on the force out, and Moustakas just beats the throw back to first. Minnesota's on the phone right now, checking on it.
That's a fantastic play there by Dozier. Great feed. The throw was perfect. Good quick hands by Santana, whom we're seeing for the first time play shortstop for the Twins. Dozier helped out Hughes in a big way there. Tough enough just to catch a ball like that when you're diving to your left when it was bouncing in the air, but then to come up and throw a perfect strike to the shortstop is exceptional.
Now ball 1-2 Escobar. Pitching is the one position in sports where there are injuries that seem the most minor, but they're major when it comes to a pitcher who relies on the pressure of the fingertips. Did Escobar make contact? I believe he did. Moustakas was running on the play, and Escobar took a very awkward swing to protect Moustakas, and that got Twins catcher Kurt Suzuki.
And it looked like a hit and run. So you want to do that. You got to swing. Suzuki wasn't happy about that hit right on the top of the knee.
Dave Island was saying if the problem is with the index finger nail, it's not going to bother a pitcher as much unless you're throwing a spike curveball like Hughes does. A lot of pressure on that right index finger. So it's very painful for him to grip the ball like that. And a pitcher, of course, relies so much on the touch and feel and the fingertips, and the precision all comes from the pressure points on the fingertips. So that could benefit the Royals tonight, that they don't have to worry about that pitch very often.
Might be a little bit better than that middle finger. The middle finger puts more pressure on breaking ball or fastballs, cutters. So there's a lot of torque that's used by the middle finger, but that index finger, he's still curling it up. We just showed you.
Down around the end of the bat. Parmalee from left, Schaefer from center. Moustakas was playing it halfway. Escobar is 0 for 2, and there are 2 down in the 5th inning. Well, summer is almost over. The kids are going back to school. We hope that doesn't stop you from coming out to Kauffman Stadium. Coming up on September 2nd and September 16th, you can now receive Field Plaza tickets for only $10 and Hy-Vee infield tickets for only $5. And this deal is good for those select home games, September 2nd and September 16th. So take advantage of those summer specials. You can get those tickets at the Kauffman Stadium box office, at Royals.com, or by calling 1-800-6-ROYALS.
These players are going to need all the fans that they can get in the K. Make that noise for them. That "Let's Go Royals" chant is really loud now.
Just foul again. Aoki pulls it hard. He opened the game with a sharply hit ground ball to Maurer at first. In the 4th inning, he doubled to right, and now he hits a rocket just off the right field line. He has scored the run, and he has been a good luck charm in that category, as the Royals are, what, 23 games above 500 when Norrie scores a run.
All I know his numbers are climbing. His batting average is coming up. RBIs at 28 are coming up. And a 295 average with runner in scoring position. Starting to be the kind of guy that they believed he could be. Suzuki, nice job.
Off of Hughes' glove, and that's going to cost the Twins. Aoki is on with another hit.
Boy, you gotta love that. Hitters can see that before you even get out of the box. You can see the pitcher hit it, touched it. Whenever that happens, most of the time that's going to be a base hit with any kind of speed. Santana looked like he had a pretty good beat on it, the shortstop there. Let's see if Infante can go to work here with 2 outs.
Strike at the knees. Omar is struck out and fly to right field.
Aoki with his 19th infield hit.
Oh, and 2, and that was a pitch that Infante struck out on in the 4th inning.
Omar's having a nice season knocking in runs. However, he's just 3 for his last 31 with runners in scoring position. He's due. Down 0-2. We saw him throw Infante in his last at bat a lot of cutters.
Shallow center, and Schaefer makes the play. The Royals strand 2. Infante is 0 for 3. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. The Royals still lead 1-0.
Welcome back to Target Field. The Royals, yeah, they really have taken over the American League Central. Started the year 5-15 in the division, but ever since 21-10. But amidst all the excitement, these young Royals are staying level-headed. And we see the standings there, and talking to Alex Gordon today, he just said, look, we've got a lot of baseball left. to be played. And we've been through this before. And they have. I mean, maybe, guys, that's one positive for them, is that while this is extremely exciting for everyone in Kansas City, and it's the buzz all around the country in the baseball world, what the Royals are doing, they went through this in June. And that wasn't August, but they went through it and saw how quickly it went away. And so they are trying not to get ahead of themselves right now. They're definitely excited about it. And a lot of guys like Gordon and Butler, who have been here so long and been through the down times, definitely understand what is going on, but they also recognize there's a lot of baseball left.
And you can really sum up the last 2 seasons as some pretty extreme peaks and valleys. Some stretches where the Royals look like they were never going to lose again. Some stretches where they look like they may not win again. And best case scenario, they continue to play like this for the next month and a half. Chances are they will not. They will hit a cold stretch at some point. The question is, will it be a short-lived cold stretch and they get right back on track, or will it be another valley?
To me, Rhino, there are a couple differences with this team, and last year's too for that matter, compared to the past. Royals teams in the past just didn't have enough talent to win 6, 7, 8, 10 games in a row. So it was tough to really be able to go on that kind of sustained run. And then the other side to it is the Royals didn't always have this kind of pitching to be able to stop those losing streaks. This is a team now built to stop losing streaks. And you're right, they can't sustain this pace, winning 19 out of 23 the rest of the year. But this is a team right now, Hud, that is very capable of continuing to win series. They made up all of the ground on Detroit in the hole that they had dug themselves. They don't have to keep playing 19 out of 23. They need to just keep playing good baseball, and that might just be good enough to knock off the Tigers.
Yeah, you know, they all understand, but they're, I just love what Ned Yost has done with that one-game philosophy mentality, and they understand every game is a meaningful game for them.
Every game is a game.
It is.
Is that akin to every day is a day?
Every game is a meaningful game, and every day you're hoping that your Royals win.
Every game is a game. It's going to be in fortune cookies now, and you're going to see that one forever. But, you know, guys, the one thing that I was wondering about a little bit is when you talk about playing teams like the Twins right now and the Rockies and the Rangers, teams that are out of it, and I was talking to some scouts about this, those teams in September can be awfully dangerous because you have players coming up, call-ups, and guys trying to, you know, earn a spot on the team next year, and they're really going out there without a care in the world. But right now here in August, this is the dog days of summer. And the dog days of summer in baseball really don't feel like it for a team that is winning because everything is going well. They enjoy coming to the park every day. The energy is there in batting practice. But if you're a team like the Twins or the Rockies or the Rangers or anyone that is down and out, the Astros, what are you playing for? It's a lot of your veterans or guys that have been on the roster all year long. It's a little tougher to get up for work. So to me right now, the time to pounce is during this stretch because we've seen it. And Ryan, you called a lot of games on the other side where it was a young Royals team with September call-ups playing the spoiler role.
Yeah, how many Septembers did we get excited about saying, whoa, let's see if this carries over to next year? After the Twins get their first hit with one out in the 5th inning, Santana pops out to short, and now 2 down. And to Joel's point about the quality of the Royals pitching, their longest losing streak this year is 5 games. Last year their longest losing streak was 8 games. And in the years before that, I mean, there were 10, 11, 12 game losing streaks.
Yeah, I was a little surprised even at the number 5, as good as their bullpen, as their starting pitching is. That's good pitching will keep you out of those long valleys, deep valleys.
Dozier is grounded to Moustakas and popped out to Moustakas. One and one. Another thing the Royals have on their side this year that they didn't have last year is that they came pretty close last year. Didn't quite get there at the very end, but they got a taste of it. If this was the first time they were going through this, there would be more question marks about how they would handle playing in September. James Shields was quoted recently saying that the playoffs, in his mind, going back to his days with Tampa Bay, the playoffs begin in September. That's where the mindset begins, that you have to win tonight, that there's no looking ahead to next series, next week, next month. So there's some experience to draw upon.
Yeah, and it happened last year. The only team in the Central Division that had a winning record against the Tigers, and they beat them at Comerica Park, and they believed that they could take it, and they had a lot of energy all the way up to the final few games in Seattle, but Seattle made it tough on them and eliminated them with 3 to go. Salvi's letting them all know the plays at first base. 3-2, runner be going.
Speaking of Detroit, if you're wondering, they are home tonight against Seattle, and they lead 2-1 in the top of the 5th inning.
Seattle, they have the type of offense that the Royals do. They've got a lot of different guys in there that are contributing. It's not just Robinson Cano.
Five walks now issued by Ventura. 2 on, 2 out.
That's a career high for him. 5 walks in the game, and he's still got the lead and just gave up his first hit of the game in this inning.
So we've given you the Detroit-Seattle score. Let's also take a look at a Mazda game break. This is Baltimore at Cleveland, and that's a 3-run home run for Carlos Santana against his former teammate Ubaldo Jimenez. So that's good news for the Royals. If the Royals want to find reasons for not being complacent because they're in first place, well, you start looking at the team ahead of them as far as the rankings go for placement in the playoffs. And the Royals are 2.5 games behind Baltimore. There's a big difference between the 2nd spot and the 3rd spot. The difference between being at home for the first round of the playoffs or on the road, or at least having the home field advantage versus more games in the series on the road.
Better believe it.
Royals with the 4th best record in the American League. So there you go. Use that as the standings with a month and a half to go in the season.
Turd loved the strikeout. Mauer's been hitting that ball on the line lately. There it is.
So he has 5 walks, 2 strikeouts, and he's only allowed 1 hit through the first 5 innings. And the Royals still lead 1-0. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Back again tonight, as they were last night, driving 650 miles to watch the Royals and Twins and be on Fox Sports Kansas City.
Way to go, guys. I don't know if you noticed the blue paint I have on my fingernails. I helped them make this sign.
Our Sonic Slam-Inning contestant is Ashley Kotz from Atchison. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Ashley wins $3,700. Sal strokes it to left, and Parmalee makes a good running play. Second time that Sal's hit it hard to left field. He is 0 for 3. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, then Ashley wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Billy Butler singled in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. Alex Gordon's on deck. Right to Dozier, who is playing on the outfield grass. 3 pitches, 2 outs. John Mayberry, good call, Hud. 23 home runs back in 1975. That's the Royals record for road home runs in a single season. Thank you for texting in today with our Sprint question of the night. 1975. We're going to be going back in that direction on the next homestand. We have retro night coming up with the Cleveland Indians in town. Specifically 1974. And celebrate the 1974 Royals. The event will feature appearances from alumni from the 74 Royals, retro uniforms, and Hud's got his 1974 retro jersey on. A live organist will be playing throughout the game, and if you're one of the first 10,000 fans through the gates, you will get a bobblehead. So we'll give you some more of those details coming up. Retro night at Kauffman Stadium during the next homestand. That is a 6-pitch inning for Phil Hughes. So Ventura is right back out there with the 1-0 lead. On the next homestand, retro night. That's 2 weeks from today. Royals will be wearing the 1974 Royals uniforms. Is that Mike Aviles posing in the 1974 Indians jersey? You'll get the bobblehead, the Mr. Royal bobblehead. Look at that. No buttons.
Retro.
1974.
Closest I could ever get to a real Royals uniform. But you know what? I credit the scouting department of the Royals back then for not getting me, because probably would have been a mistake.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Just like the other.
And you played for the Yankees. There was no room for you in Kansas City during that time.
But players don't have control, believe me.
And a lot of iconic moments in Royals history with players wearing jersey very similar to the one that you are. What was the year that Frank Robinson became the first African-American manager? He was player manager for the Indians. I want to say, was it 75? Is that right? The reason I bring that up because I picture him in that Cleveland Indians uniform, because he did it with the Cleveland Indians in that blood red jersey.
Might have been around the same time.
Ventura gets his 4th strikeout. So 4 strikeouts, 5 walks. His pitch count is getting closer to 100. He is at 90. So trying to get through 6 innings tonight, at least.
Kenny's Vargas, he really looks like Big Papi from the left side.
Arcia kind of sums up Ventura's night tonight. He has walked and struck out. Ventura really picking up the pace in this inning. 5 walks, none have turned into runs. So the only damage is what it's done to Ventura's pitch count. And Minnesota, they are the rare team that doesn't hit much, but they walk. And of the last 23 walks, this is unbelievable. The last 23 walks, Ventura goes to a quick pitch. The last 23 walks the Royals have given the Minnesota Twins, 1 has scored, and that was last night. So that's usually not a very good formula, but it shows how well Ventura and the others have pitched against Minnesota with men on base.
Better believe it. That's an incredible number. Usually you're getting at least half of those walks are scoring.
Little half swing and a soft liner to Moustakas for the 2nd out. That's not a surprise. That breakdown right there.
No, and we talked about it. He doesn't have command with his secondary pitches. So when you have that type of power fastball, you can get it done. You can get away with pitches out over the middle of the plate that the guy that throws 90 can't.
Fastball, ground ball. Escobar gets Plouffe. 6 scoreless innings on 1 hit for Yordano Ventura, and the Royals hanging on to that 1-0 lead.
Tickets for Less has the best selection of seats at Kauffman Stadium, including Crown Seats, Diamond Club, and the best dugout seats to all Royals games. Ticketsforless.com is your trusted source for all Royals tickets. Tickets for Less is celebrating 10 years of local ownership, located on 135th Street in Southern Overland Park. Check out ticketsforless.com for all your Royals tickets. Lots of Royals fans here, hopefully for a win. Not sure if they'll see Greg Holland to close this one out. Of course, Ned Yost never really going to say who is or isn't available, but he did say last night that he has really been using Holland a lot, and he took the blame on himself. Holland got the save last night, did give up 2 runs, but he said he's just been working him over and over again. As far as Holland's comment to that today, and talking with a bunch of folks from the media, he said, look, you're going to go through lulls in the season, and you know what, there's some times I'm going to come out there and not be as good as I want to be. That's okay if we win, and there's no rest for the weary, he's saying right now. It is what it is. We're in the middle of this thing. And then he kind of turned to everybody. There was a pretty big crowd around him and said, hey, you guys all came over here. I thought I was injured or something. But as the writers pointed out, when you give up 2 runs, that ends up leading to discussion, because it doesn't happen very much.
At times he can be the closer equivalent to Jack Morris. Remember Jack Morris? Tigers would score 6 runs, he'd give up 4.
Yep.
Tigers would score 2 runs, he'd give up 1. He always just seemed to give them what they needed that night, and if they needed a little more, he would give them a little more. And I was telling somebody here in Minnesota last night when they were asking about Holland giving up 2 runs, I said, you know, if that was a 1-run game, I bet he wouldn't have allowed 2 runs last night. And Ned didn't echo exactly that, but he did say that Greg knew that he had a little bit of room to work with last night, and when he needed to buckle down at the end, he buckled down.
Yeah, we've always seen that from him, Holland. Sometimes he makes it interesting, but he usually finishes the job, and it's not an easy one.
I also thought it was a little bit of Ned Yost doing what he so often does, of taking some of the blame or responsibility off of his players and bringing it on himself. Obviously, in the role of closer, you're going to have hot and cold streaks. They've been winning a lot of close games, so he's been in there. But it's not like his velocity is down, but I think Ned just saying, look, I've worked him too much. You can blame me for this one. And speaking of closers, our closer is doing very well. The latest update from our Jeff Montgomery. He's feeling good back at home. And I just got a text from him a little while ago, which is classic Monty. 362 days, he said, till I can run again.
Academy Sports and Outdoors gives us a starters comparison for tonight. Pretty good comparison with the middle categories there. The other ones, there is no comparison. Hughes, no strikeouts. Ventura, 5. Hughes, 6 hits allowed. Ventura, 1. But Hughes has given up just the 1 run, and Ventura, none.
That's all that matters, the score. But Ibanez, 2 for 2. He could pop one out. You never know.
Two singles tonight makes him 5 out of 8 against Phil Hughes, teammate of his with the Yankees, and 2 of those 5 hits are home runs. You had brought up on the field during batting practice today Jason Frazier. He has 36 career saves. He had as many as 17 one year with the Blue Jays. It's been a while since he's had a save. Got to go back to 2010, but he knows how to handle the 9th inning. That could be another option for Ned Yost.
Sure could. You could trust him.
This time Hughes gets Ibanez. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hughes, and that gives him 6. It's a little bit of a dangerous job.
Sure is. It's pretty close. There's no railing over there either.
I hope that's not the quarter beer section of Target Field.
I hope not either.
Moustakas has grounded out twice, once into a double play and once into a force out. Two and 0.
Hughes tried to work that get me over curveball for strike 1. Didn't work. Now it's 2-0. Moose looking for a fastball here.
Plouffe has just enough room. Hughes has given up just 1 run in 7 innings, but that's all the Royals have needed tonight. They lead 1-0.
Look at this.
Royals fans, a lot of Royals fans here tonight at Target Field. Beers of the K is back on Friday, September 12th, as the Royals play the Red Sox. Join your fellow fans for a pregame event in the Pavilion 10 located outside of Gate A and enjoy select beer options, local favorites, a live DJ, and more, and packages starting at just $18 and include a ticket to the game. Admission to Beers of the K event and a special edition 4-ounce tasting mug. All event ticket holders must be, of course, 21 or older. And fans must have a Beers at the K ticket package to enter. That is just the second hit for Minnesota tonight. It is their 8th base runner, however, as Ventura has walked 5. The Royals have also committed an error. It is the 3rd time tonight Minnesota's had the leadoff man on. Bueno and Crow warming up in the Royals bullpen as Ventura's next pitch will be number 100. Bunted. Parmalee, Moustakas. That would have been a tough play, even if it did stick in his palm. 2 on, nobody out.
That's really a great touch and a smart play there. Trying to get Ventura into trouble. laid a perfect bunt down. It's not easy off a fastball coming at that speed. Moose thought he had a chance, but really no play. Don't want to pick up that ball and throw it down the line. Okay, Jordan Schaefer now, he's coming up with nobody out, and he's a bunter as well. See if Gardenhire asks him to get the ball down, try to advance the runners.
He has 5 sacrifice bunts, 2 at the Twins and 3 earlier this year with the Braves. Bunts it foul, 0-1.
Salvi really cheating on that. He's coming up out of that crouch before the ball even gets home. Looking to pounce on the ball. Now with Moose charging, coming home, Escobar's going to third to cover.
After the first pitch to Schaefer, Ron Gardenhire realized he wanted a little better speed at first base, so Eduardo Escobar will run for Parmelee. Tough guy to bunt. He offered, and the count is 0-2.
Better believe
he
it is.
saved the right spot for his best curveball of the night.
That was. And it fooled him. He was looking fastball all the way to try to bunt that, and that's not easy.
Talked about this last night, and Minnesota added to that in last night's game with 2 runs in the 9th inning. They've been badly outscored in the first 6 innings, but have been outscoring their opponents in the final 3 innings. Bunting with 2 strikes, and he got it down, and Ventura hesitates, and he's still got Schaefer.
Pretty good job by Schaefer. We've seen the Nori Aoki bunt with 2 strikes. But that was a pretty clutch bunt there. Move those runners over now. 7th inning, game's getting late. Gave himself up in plenty of time, just got it down. Ventura called off Moose, barehanded, clutched, and then was able to throw a good strike to Billy, but I don't know what he was waiting on. Billy was there.
He's got that little fancy leg swing even when he's throwing over to first base.
Yeah, he does.
That must have been a fastball that he threw over there.
It was, and he was a little off balance. Now it's time to pitch again. Got momentum going towards the third base side. Clutch. Little body language.
So let's see if Ventura can do it again. Pitching with runners in scoring position. Santana helped him out. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Minnesota 0 for 6 tonight with runners in scoring position. Good spot there.
Santana, who homered against Ventura last time the 2 teams played, is 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of infield pop-ups. Broken bat. Billy will come to the plate. Safe.
What a heady slide by Suzuki. Wow, the throw beat him. Nice play by Billy, but a better slide by Suzuki. Salvi went to tag him, and he went up over his hand and tagged the plate with his hand. You can't teach this. This is instinct right here. It's made a big difference to play. Ooh, man.
Wow.
Looked like it might have. He was close, and he got him. But you know, when catchers aren't allowed to get their body in front of home plate, that's all that's left. They can just try to sweep tag him. Suzuki, nice job. Most catchers before this year would just sit up right in front of that plate, block it.
And now Dozier hits it past Moustakas. Coming around third is the pinch runner Escobar. The throw goes to third instead of second. And Dozier ends up there. Minnesota's taken a 2-1 lead.
Fastball tailing in on his hands. Dozier just pulled the hands in, raked it right by Moose. Gordon thought he had a shot there at third base. Sometimes that'll distract you. They wouldn't have got him at second anyway. Ball wasn't hit hard enough.
Probably going to be Ventura's last hitter. Vargas is on deck, and again Ned has Bueno and Crow in the bullpen. So if it is Ventura's last hitter, do they want Vargas to hit right-handed or left-handed?
That'll be the decision that they want to make.
Or
just leave him in.
They're going to leave him in.
He's trusting Ventura. This is his game right here. He's been living on the edge the whole game, though. I'm not surprised to see Minnesota finally getting to it.
And there is no clear weaker side for Kenny Vargas.
Nope, he's good on both sides.
He has walked, line to right, and struck out. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. It's a bit of a risk. 112 pitches, and with that intentional walk, that's 6 walks given up by Ventura. But he's throwing strikes to Vargas, and it's 0-2.
Tell you what, pitchers, they love that a manager's going to leave him in, especially in his game. That's what he's telling himself. Leave me in. I can finish it.
Alex makes the play in left. Throw is cut off, and Minnesota has 3 in the 7th inning. So we just showed you they've been most potent this time of game in the final 3 innings. And as Ventura has been reduced to mostly fastballs tonight, Minnesota got on him in the 7th inning. So first and second, 2 down. Arcia coming up, and in a Chevy call to the bullpen, Francisli Bueno is out of the Royals bullpen. Very interesting night for Yordano Ventura. He only gave up 3 hits in make that 4 hits in 6 2/3 innings, but he walked 6. However, to this point, none of those 6 walks have scored. Minnesota has 3 all in this inning, and Bueno comes on with Dozier at second, Mauer at first, and will face Oswaldo Arcia.
Fastball slider, and he'll use a different arm angle too. He'll drop down sidearm. Makes it tougher for left-handed batters to keep their shoulder in.
Royals were played perfect up the middle. Arcia looking back into the Twins dugout with a shocked look on his face. Minnesota gets 3 to take a 2-run lead.
And the Yankees beat the Rays 3-2. Seattle trailing 2-1. Baltimore, Ubaldo Jimenez rocked by his former team 4 1/3, 6 earned runs, and Toronto and Chicago are tied up in the 7th. Our Mazda game break takes us to Detroit, and Nick Castellanos going deep off of Felix Hernandez. Hernandez only gave up 2 runs in the game, but high pitch count only lasted 5 innings. David Price through 6 2/3 is still in there. One other note worth mentioning, David Papi becomes the 3rd ever Red Sox player to hit his 400th home run in a Boston Red Sox uniform, joining Ted Williams and Carl Yastrzemski.
All right, Joel, well, how about that? Right after the Twins get a 2-run lead, Phil Hughes hits Alcides Escobar with the first pitch of the inning.
Just barely clipped off of him. See, Escobar turned his shoulder in just in time. Take one for the team.
Clearly in excruciating pain. If you're going to get hit, that's the way to get hit.
Better believe it.
Only 85 pitches for Hughes.
Yeah, just seeing that right now, I was just saying he got so many Royals in the first 3 innings swinging at his first pitch because they couldn't wait because they knew fastballs were coming. They want to jump on it. And after the 3rd or 4th inning, I knew he had a chance to pitch deep into this game.
Arcia comes up in right field to get Aoki. Lori is 2 for 4 tonight. He scored the Royals run back in the 4th inning. As we promised earlier tonight, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game sent in by Brittany with a guy who looks a lot like Alex Gordon.
That's right. Way to go, Brittany.
Don't forget to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during an upcoming game broadcast. Infante is 0 for 3 tonight.
Phil Hughes, he's a veteran. Doesn't use a lot of body. Looks like, he's stays right on top of the ball. He stays down in the zone. He's very confident with his fastball. He's going to make you beat him. And Infante straight up.
Pitching in front of a big crowd here tonight. Been telling you he's having a good year in his first year with the Twins. He hasn't pitched all that well here, however. He's pitched much better on the road. He really struggled last year pitching on the road at home rather for the Yankees. ERA was almost 7, and he was 1-10 at Yankee Stadium. And you figure, well, that's a hitter-friendly ballpark. This is a pitcher-friendly ballpark, but even with that, he's pitched better away from Target Field, so this home crowd hasn't always seen the best of Phil Hughes. 1-2 on Infante.
Infante tried to shoot that ball to right field, a breaking ball. You know what you're getting out of Phil Hughes. That's one thing that makes pitching coaches feel pretty comfortable. When Hughes' day comes up, they know what he's going to bring you. Consistent fastballs, puts the pressure on the hitters, throws strikes.
Escobar runs, and Infante fouls it away. The Royals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri are teaming up to help you stop smoking. And for more information, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Hughes has had somewhat of a similar path as, say, Zach Greinke, perhaps Wade Davis. We'll see what the future holds for Wade Davis, but remember, there was a year when he was in New York and he was Mariano Rivera's setup man, and they won the World Series that year. He was the Yankees' first-round pick 10 years ago. He got to the big leagues as a 21-year-old. And then in 2009, they moved him to the bullpen to set up for Rivera. It lasted 1 year, gave him a little different approach. They put him back in the rotation the next year, and he went 18-8.
Yeah, he was a little bit more fastball oriented then as well, but he had more velocity. He was throwing mid-90s. And you can conserve when you're in that bullpen. You come out, for 1 inning, and you can just give it all you got, like Wade Davis is doing this year. You're going to conserve your pitches a little bit more when you're a starter, and as well as the velocity.
Stuck on 2 balls, 2 strikes. Coming up, Santana diving in center field. That was a very risky play. He's lucky he got his glove on it. Otherwise, if that thing rolls deep, the Royals get at least 1 run. Who knows how far Infante would have been able to run.
Well, at the last minute, he made the adjustment. He put his glove up. He knew he wasn't going to catch it, so he altered his glove, and that's what you do. And, we've been seeing him. He's an infielder by trade.
So that big crowd appreciates what Phil Hughes has done tonight. He departs with 2 on, 1 out in the 8th inning. talked about Phil Hughes being a strike thrower. Tonight is his 25th start. It is the 23rd time out of 25 he has had 1 walk or 0 walks. And tonight, 0. He did hit a batter. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation.
Sinker slider. 90-93. He's got an occasional changeup. See him up. Ooh.
He got a pitch up.
Yeah, he did. He missed it.
Chevy called to the bullpen. KC Fiend. He inherits Escobar at second and Infante at first with 1 down.
Ooh, man. See if he can duplicate that. That first pitch he just missed, that was the one right down the middle. Now he'll see some sliders.
One and one.
Fiend has a 5.03 ERA against the American League Central.
Garcia in right, calling off Santana, a bluff tag. They had a gigantic all-star logo in center field at Target Field, and we just saw the second time where an outfielder trying to plant his feet dug up some grass. And you can see where the grass has been replaced. They just, instead of painting the grass green, they put in the new sod, and guys are having some trouble out there. Gerard Dyson suffered a 1-stroke penalty last night for not replacing his divot.
Yeah, but it was on the 3rd out. I'll give him a pass.
Yeah, but replacing your divot doesn't matter. I mean, you either replace it or you don't replace it, right?
He let the player that came out in center field last night, Santana, replace it.
Or made him replace it.
Didn't they have a concert? I think, didn't Paul McCartney, wasn't there a concert out here? Yeah, it was Paul McCartney. They had a concert out there. I think that was part to blame for some of that sod out there.
Hasn't quite settled in yet. 1-1 on Billy. He's 1 for 3 with a single. Billy's done well against Fiend. Two and one. Escobar was hit by the first pitch thrown by Hughes in this inning. And then with 1 out, Infante singled. And now Perez is flied out to right.
Billy was really airing it out in batting practice, hitting some upper tank shots and left.
Ooh. Did you see the one that Mike Stanton of the Marlins hit during the home run hitting contest? It was, I want to say, 3, maybe 4 rows from going out of the stadium entirely.
No, I didn't get a chance to see that. Billy was trying to hit that right there out of the stadium. He's looking up there. He's looking up for a fastball now. Fiend will probably try to get him to swing and miss on a slider.
Back upstairs with a fastball, and Fiend with a roar of emotion as he leaves the mound, and the Royals strand 2 in the 8th inning. Royals tonight with 1 in the 4th inning. Minnesota with 3 in the 7th. Time for our Ram drive of the game, and let's go back to that 3-run 7th inning, and Dozier getting it just in between Moustakas and the line. That was the RBI that put Minnesota in front 2-1. And then 2 batters later, Kenny Vargas hit a sacrifice fly to make it 3-1, and Aaron Crow comes on for the bottom of the 8th inning. He'll get Plouffe, Suzuki, and Escobar. Plouffe is 0 for 3. All those at bats against Giordano Ventura. Aaron pitched last night. He got 1 out. That's his 3rd consecutive appearance where he has come on and gotten just 1 out. There's nobody warming up behind him here. Ned Yost would like to get him through the entire 8th inning. On Thursday at Kauffman Stadium, that 1 out earned him a victory. Trevor Plouffe is 0 for 4. And now Kurt Suzuki, he has come to the plate 7 times in the series. He has reached 6 times, and it was his single and his great slide in the 7th inning that really got the Twins going.
Sure was. He's made a difference for this Twins team. Leadership ability, solid job behind the plate, and he's got an idea about hitting. This would have been an out at home plate, no question about it, had Salvi been able to find some part of his body, and he tried to get his leg right there, and apparently Jim Reynolds, home plate umpire, was right on in great positioning and couldn't quite come up with it.
Stroke to left field and into the bleachers. He has come to the plate 8 times in this series, and now 7 times he has reached. And this time he'll touch them all.
Fastball, it caught a little bit of the plate, but you got to credit Suzuki for that. It wasn't in the middle. He just pulled his hands in. And when you're hot, that happens. You could tell on contact that was out of here.
Escobar ran for Parmalee in the 7th inning and scored a run. This is his first plate appearance of the night. One and two. Got the pitch down, and that's where Sal wanted it. He was motioning down with his glove. Still a ball and 2 strikes.
That was the 8th home run Crow's given up this season.
Kurt Suzuki also has 10 RBIs now in 13 games against the Royals. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A little high and tight.
So once again, the Twins scoring late. And that's where they are most dangerous offensively, innings 7 through 9, and they've added 4 more runs tonight.
Just a little bit too up in the zone. Salvi wanted that one at the dirt.
Finally put him away with a fastball. 2 down. So Schaefer with 2 down. Now these numbers are a little bit deceiving. I mean, they are what they are, and yet when you're behind as much as the Twins are, and it's hard to play from behind like they have this season, those are big run differentials in the early innings. You can get some meaningless runs late in games when you're down by quite a bit, but still, it's when they are most potent. And last night they almost used a little rally in the 9th inning to tie the game against Greg Holland, and they're trying to put the game away tonight in the 7th and 8th innings.
Yeah, you know, when you see those numbers like that, how many runs they're down early, that's their pitching. Pitching has been given up early, puts a lot of pressure on the offense to come back.
Schaefer got a nice sacrifice bunt down in the Twins' 3-run 7th inning. He's also singled and walked.
He's got a chance to finish strong here this season for the Twins and maybe get that starting role next year.
What a nice play. And Fonte didn't get much on the throw, but he made that look easy, going as far as he did and getting a pretty good grip with his bare hand.
Yeah, with that Schaefer's speed, there is no chance. Schaefer, I had a chance to see his stints on the disabled list at all. 2 pages on this guy. You know, he's a crash and burn type of player. He's crashed into some walls. He's had wrist, shoulder injuries. He's had a whole mess of stuff go on because of the way he plays, his style. If he can stay healthy, finish strong, like I said, he's got a chance to be their starting center fielder. Good speed. Gardenhire trying to change the team up a little bit, put a little more speed in there. Santana, good looking shortstop's got speed.
It was just 2 seasons ago Minnesota had both Denard Span and Ben Revere. They traded them both away. Span to the Nationals, Revere to the Phillies, making room for Aaron Hicks, who is their next hot thing coming up from the minor leagues. And the Twins have had a lot of luck here with center fielders from their system, going back to Kirby Puckett and Torrey Hunter, Denard Span, Ben Revere. But then Hicks didn't pan out at the major league level. They tried to get Alex Presley. Remember him? He finished strong with Minnesota last year. They tried to get him through waivers in spring training. He was claimed. Hicks failed, and all of a sudden they're running shortstops out to center field.
Yeah, that's how much they were counting on Hicks.
One and one on Santana. Hicks was sent all the way back to Double-A, where for a while he gave up on switch hitting. That's how bad he was going, and they got him to reconsider. Started to get going at Double-A and now back in Triple-A. Kane makes the play in right center field. That's the inning. Suzuki homers. And now Glenn Perkins will come on with a 3-run lead. He'll get Alex Gordon, Lorenzo Cain, and Raul. We promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Last time we were here, Raul Ibanez had just joined the Royals and hit his first home run as a Royal in 11 years, becoming the oldest Royal to hit a home run at 42 years old. He hit it off of KC Fiend.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Hopefully we see a few more of those off his bat before the season's over. But he'll likely get pinch hit for now with the lefty Perkins in.
Everything lined up for Glenn Perkins and Twins fans this year. They had the All-Star game here. Perkins was having a good year. Born in Minnesota, high school in Minnesota, college in Minnesota, drafted in the first round by the Twins, and it was a save situation for the All-Star game here at Target Field, and he got to close it out to help the American League win, and he was pitching to Kurt Suzuki, who also made the All-Star team.
Yeah, great opportunity for him, especially when it's as rare as it is that They have the All-Star game in your own hometown. Perkins, he's a good guy. And he's got a good fastball. He trusts it. He uses it a lot. Hitters can look for it. Low to mid-90s with that fastball. And he's going to break a slider off and a changeup to righties if he has to. Mainly fastball slider.
One and two on Alex. Royals scored their run back in the 4th inning. Aoki scored on a throwing error by Suzuki. Minnesota got 3 in the 7th and 1 in the 8th. 2 and 2. Good start for the Royals. Alex has his 2nd hit.
He's going to throw a lot of those fastballs. Just got to find one and jump on it. See if they can get a little rally going.
Lorenzo glad to see anybody but Phil Hughes on the mound. Hughes gave him a bad time tonight. Hughes struck out 6, and half of those against Kane. Oh, and 2. Willingham is going to bat for Ibanez. Ibanez has big numbers against Perkins. 3-pitch strikeout. And the dreaded 4 strikeout game for Lorenzo Cain, 1 down in the 9th inning. So this is not a move because of matchups. This is a move because of, or rather, it's not a move because of prior history. It's a move because of a righty against lefty matchups, because Ibanez just owns Perkins.
Two ex-teammates going at it.
And this is a scenario that the Royals envisioned, getting Josh Willingham when Raul Ibanez pinch hits. You got a big, powerful bat coming off the bench, and when Eric Hosmer comes back, there will be nights where Willingham will DH, Billy Butler will not, or Billy Butler will DH, Willingham will not.
Yeah, but this is really good to have a guy like that off the bench, especially to the opposing managers. They always try to go with matchups, and they're looking at who's got one swing home run ability.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's always good to have that power threat off the bench. Gardenhire, he knew Ibanez's spot was coming up in Willingham, but with a 3-run lead, he's trusting his guy. Perkins, of course, he's their closer. Fastball, sliders.
Two and 2. Perkins known as a reverse split pitcher, where he's actually better against righties and lefties, and in this inning the lefty has a base hit, Alex Gordon. The righty is struck out, Lorenzo Cain. Giving him a battle. Still 2-2.
You got to like this at bat. This is exactly what you want. Now you want to try to win it. 2-run home run would be nice, but he's fouling off all them borderline pitches.
That was a pitch Perkins wanted to get Willingham. Instead, it's 3-2. Another foul ball.
Took a lot off that breaking ball. 8-pitch at bat as a pinch hitter. I'm going to tell you, that's a really good at bat, even if you don't win it. Just seeing pitches and getting your money's worth up there. 5 foul balls.
Six foul balls.
That ball left up over the plate a little bit there. Ooh, yeah, that was right in the middle. Gaining confidence with each foul ball.
Got him with a breaking ball. So that keeps the potential tying run on deck. And now Perkins and Moustakas. Alex runs. Moustakas takes a strike. No stolen base. Defensive indifference. One ball, one strike. And now the Royals down to their last strike. Big crowd here tonight. This is game 2 of an 11-game homestand. And the fans haven't had much to cheer about lately. Minnesota's lost 13 of their last 18 at home. Tigers now lead by 3. Moustakas fouls it away again. And the Twins just had a stretch, a grueling stretch of 13 out of 15 games on the road. Now they're home for 11. Royals took game 1 last night 6-5. Minnesota evens the series at 1 game apiece. Kurt Suzuki, boy, he's been a thorn in the Royals' side all year. Had a big game tonight with 2 runs scored. He drove in a run. And the Twins win tonight 4-1. We'll be right back.